Greetings everyone, and Grade here from another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Small on the bottom right side as the black hole Kindle, we got theredjames5, number 5. Small on top left side as the, what is this, I always forget, Azure Asteroid, Drake, we got GH_ST. So let's get started. This map is a 3-base map. Both players you start with a black boat for a tiny bit of spotting. Can be circumnavigated, but you have to go through a slower advance with double forests. A number of pipe scenes that slow down the advance. Closing out this pipe scene will give you +1 movement range. This one will give you +3 or +1 this way with the forest there. It's minor advantages. Probably does add up in the long run. And they'll mention if you're just going to go for artillery piece to help clear the black boat, you can always clear out the pipe scene while at it. Sasha vs. Hawk, it just feels like a Lancelot running from Mighty Python. Yep. Artillery got deployed on the field by Drake. We're probably seeing more battlecrafters deployed by Kindle. I just find Drake's -3% firepower on battlecrafters absolutely crippling. I see a lot of stupid things by Drake battlecrafters when they do such pathetic damage, particularly from units on top properties. And Kindle loves having units on top of properties to retaliate doing severe, massive damage. More like I'm going to have a black wave and eventually hurt eventually. Yeah, when fighting Sasha, don't even bother with trying to save up suit power. Just go powers. You now recon deployed here, double tapping the pipe scene, and then probably go over the black boat afterwards. Those got that pipe scene there. Now Kindle has +1 moon range. Let's go through this forest there. Got now another tank infantry. And to a certain extent, just 1 HP at a time. Battlecopter or infantry. So got an early battlecopter by Kindle. Not to mention, this blackout will be cleaned on up, so the battlecopter will sneak on by. You have this tank is spotted. This tank, of course, is on top of a property. Tank, recon, and infantry. It's the infantry unit there. Double taps it, captures it up. Takes out that tank there. Does have this tank spotted nearby, so this tank should be pushed forward. Help try to get a good angle on this tank. Of course, it is out of vision range. Could push forward to be exposed so it can receive a shot then retaliate upon. Be a bit of a bait technique. And does hit that captain squad twice. Before I go for interrupt down here, maybe with self-infantry first, or at all. It pulls back both these units there. Now the black boat goes down. Drake's tanks completely and utterly ordinary. No damage loss on them. Infantry, anti-air, and another artillery piece there on the slow path. Does have a tank there. If pushed forward, hit this tank, it will receive some retaliation damage as this tank just pulls back. Another one gets on top of it. So we do have 2 tanks there. This tank here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 tanks are in range. Does spot that squad there. Insert for 76 versus 64. Spots both those tanks there. Now Drake can get a triple tap on these tanks here. We'll perhaps have to worry about a single battlecopter soon enough. Kindle can skip anti-airs when fighting against Drake and just use battlecopter to strike battlecopters. Drake battlecopters, like I said, are not good at all. Anti-air, infantry, and infantry, so going a little bit heavy in the anti-airs. And these tanks do not be struck. Does get a good shot there, put the artillery in range as well, very nice. This tank is going to be a bit of bait. And she's going to have a good core of tanks here. 5 tanks this region with a good artillery support. Does get the shot in infantry in there. In-range artillery. Spots the artillery and the tanks, just not this tank. Here's the pipe scene. So he looks like going to clean up that pipe scene as well. You usually don't see this pipe scene get cleaned up too often. Medium tank, infantry. A lot of boosted strike there from the cities. This tank here will still cause an issue though. It's the recon, does not take it off the artillery, so the artillery is designed to be repositioned. Good start capturing up that city there, and we'll have some good support there. Battlecopter, recon, and artillery. That was a good strike there on that pipe scene. Tank anti-air infantry. 89 versus 103. Good strike up there. No anti-airs in range, so that's a good path for the anti-air as well as the tank. Now this tank could receive some damage there. If the tank gets on top of the city and fires, it will receive an urban blight. And it looks like Kindle's on blitz up north of our tanks. Guns down infantry in there. Does hit this one as well. Takes it out. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Finish off some of those units. Hits the capping squad. Takes out the pipe scene there. We do have a tsunami available, as well as an urban blight. I don't think urban blight should be popped next turn. Nothing really used the extra boost damage. It will just be trying to do damage to the reinforcing units there. You can see Drake has been largely off all the cities. It won't interrupt any captures either. So yeah, I don't think urban blight would be a good idea. Does pop urban blight. Just trying to do damage to her opponent. But I do think Urban Blight should always have an idea of keeping in mind with the extra bonus damage from attacking an urbanized property, because that is immensely powerful. Does get a good amount of damage there, at least gets +10/+10 global. Infantry, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Kindle has 133. Drake has 93. Possible Typhoon this turn. Does the battlecopter hits the tank there? Yep, there's going to be a Typhoon this turn. And now Kindle's down to 89,000. Drake's at 92. Some of these tanks are at 1% health. Even machine guns the tank a little bit there, trying to get as much damage before it attacks it. Kindle's vision will also be reduced this turn, and it looks like Drake is maybe as well. That could just be a vision bug. I'm pretty sure he does not get affected by rain. Unaffected by rain except vision, so he's still affected by rain vision, or lack of vision. I'm just used to Penny when it comes to weather-related effects. Because Penny's a monster in Days of Ruin. Battlecopter good strike up there. Infantry does get find the E-tier. Infantry, tank, and tank. Does get some good strikes, takes out the battlecopter. Medium tank will strike the artillery. Unfortunately for Drake, Kindle's a monster advanced force by web. Yep, very much true. A-tier, tank, and infantry. She can be played around, but it can be difficult to sometimes play around. After all, if there's a wall there, every single city within a wall could be not a hard point, but a breaking point. She inverts the law of the urban terrain. Oh yeah, she inverts urban terrain. Let's just leave it at that with Urban Blight. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. It does have an Urban Blight available. 105 versus 106, so they're still pretty even at the moment. And the front lines are, well, distant from each other. Trying to flip some properties. She does have 20,000 income versus 18. This map is probably not great for a high society as much. How much firepower should you get from high society right now? Plus 63, which is still a decent amount. And enough properties in the center, it's probably more of an Urban Blight map than a high society map, that's for sure. And when it comes to high society, it does get affected by the lab there, so there is a reason for her to capture the lab that's behind her face. And pops Urban Blight there. Does get a good strike there. Does machine gun down, artillery in range of the anti-air, but a little bit exposed, no longer exposed. That Urban Blight hit a battlecopter. That medium tank is toast. It's out of vision range, so she does not see the medium tank. Nope. She had no vision of the medium tank, so it is not toast. Yep, that's the thing about vision. Sometimes you just don't know. The fog of war is real. Tanks heading down south help contain this advance. These forces here being a little bit slow. 3 capture progress remaining. 3 capture progress remaining. Relatively passive tank turn. We got tank. Actually got a Drake battlecopter. Infantry. 119 versus 128. So Kindle has a slight advantage. Remember, player 2, add the day-to-day funds to hers. Interrupts and really interrupts, but 3 turns is not a huge interrupt. 3 turns left from both those captures. Try and flip some properties, very nice. Which can be used for bait, particularly for the artillery. And not mention, if the infantry unit gets struck, she can simply pull back the infantry unit there, put a tank on top of it, and retaliate for a severe amount of damage. Her capture bait is far more effective than other COs. I always find her urban effect is more of a retaliation tool than a combat tool. Takes all the infantry in there. Good artillery placement there by Drake. Join captures there. And captures normally. And join captures there. So let's say these 2 properties will be flipped. I don't think... I can always send one of them back down to 1 HP and get an interrupt rather than being stopped. This one could be stopped. Battlecopter, infantry. Captures 2 properties. And looks like she's going in. Does not see the ET at the moment. Does fully stop the capture. But she's probably going to lose a battlecopter. And it's going to be expensive stop capture. That's for sure. But it looks like she's actually going to make an advance towards the HQ. Drake can, of course, interrupt with a tsunami and or typhoon. But it looks like she's going in for the capture. This battlecopter has 8 fuel remaining. It will consume 2 fuel per turn, so it does not have too much. If it moves maximum range, it will crash itself. But it can probably at least get 1 turn with 7 movement range before not crashing itself. Drake should focus the anti-air to hit the full health one rather than the one that's almost out of fuel as well. Trying to flip this property, and it looks like it will be flipped unless Urban Blight comes on in. Even though just delay it, probably. It's the full health one. Pops the tsunami. Oh, he's making a play for the battlecopter. It'll have 2 fuel next turn, which means it can only move 2 turns. If it moves 1 tile, at least it can stay afloat or flying for another turn, but still not great. And I mentioned some of this other stuff is getting pretty wounded and low in fuel. Drake's trying to blitz with a number of tanks. Artillery in range of one of the properties there. This is probably going to be Urban Blight turn. Could be a High Society turn. Probably Urban Blight. Then you can get a good shot on another one of these tanks, but Kindle's going to be wounded. 104,000 versus 134. Yep. But this battlecopter is now down to 2 fuel. It can only move 1 tile before and not be sunk at the start of the next turn. So it can move forward this tile here, get a shot off, or move right here, get a shot off on one of these guys. And then maybe it can try flying another tile, but even then, that battlecopter is probably going to crash due to the lack of fuel, rather than being shot up by an anti-air. Battlecopters only consume 2 fuel per turn, while planes like jets, stealths, and bombers consume 5. Battlecopters only consume 2, and Eagles minus 2 fuel per turn for aircraft means helicopters just don't consume fuel per turn. It had 4. It had 4 fuel remaining, so it went from 4 to 2. I suppose you don't see it because I try to maximize the window size, so you don't actually see it. My apologies. It's one of those things like, do you guys want to see all the little information left, which is largely not relevant, unless the specific case, or just larger map size? Sorry about that. That's sort of my own call. What's more important, the size of the map, or seeing occasionally fuel, ammo, and capture progress can still somewhat see? It's my own sort of choice there. Battlecopter, tank and infantry. But yeah, this battlecopter has 2 fuel, so it will crash next turn. He does not need to take time to shoot it down. Let's see if he realizes it. He does shoot it down. That was not needed, though it does give him power charge. But it may have been worth it to try to shoot an infantry unit there. Artillery's in range of that tank now. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. 124 versus 102 with the day-to-day income. They're still pretty even. True, it does put him in artillery range. Oh, Recon spots the artillery. Got lucky, didn't take it out that one. That tank's probably at 1% health. Will take time to finish off that one. This battlecopter is 31 fuel. This battlecopter is at 29 fuel. Does finish off there with artillery. Could have done that first, or that was the infantry unit to finish off. They already fired. Hits that tank twice. We do have now another tsunami available. With the amount of battlecopters in the field, it could warrant another tsunami. And just play the fuel game against Kindle. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. I mean, she's doing quite well with battlecopters. And Drake has a number of artillery and medium tanks, so the battlecopter play is not bad. I do think she needs to get an APC out in the field for the battlecopters now. Does pick off some units there, but the tank is in artillery range, just out of vision range at the moment. Pops the power. So now some of these battlecopters are getting pretty low. This battlecopter is 15 fuel, 16 fuel. This one's now at it's now at 0 fuel. Does hit the artillery there with the anti-air. Tank, infantry. 90,000 versus 108, so they're still pretty even. We could see an Urban Blight. But don't see any boosted strikes other than maybe on the 7 health tank that's behind the HQ. hits the artillery there. I forgot the fact that recon was there to spot that tank. A lot of units pulling back, trying to get some resupply. The infantry units need some new burgers. Or rations, really. Infantry, tank. I don't think there's any burger ration. Recently, the United States Army has released the, or at least the supplier for the Army, for MRE, at least a pizza MRE. My favorite was definitely the shredded beef and barbecue sauce. That and cheese tortellini. Cheese tortellini is probably still my favorite, though. When it comes to US Army rations, the MREs, the vegetarian ones are actually pretty good. Because they get a lot of extra food, make it a bit more filling, and not to mention it offers a little bit more sugary items like a piece of candy, like Reese's Pieces and other things of that sorts. Here, infantry artillery. Let's see, don't see a good turn for Urban Blight. Could interrupt the capture, but it's already going to be interrupted. Hits that unit there, finds the artillery. Pops the Urban Blight, so maybe going to try to finish off this tank. Does, can get a booster strike on the artillery there, which could be quite nice. So maybe this was a good turn for Urban Blight. Battlecopter has 4 fuel remaining, so it can probably join capture or join into this 9 health battlecopter and give what little fuel it has. Yeah. Problem is, it's going to have to spend its next turn with 2 tiles and we'll get it joined. So that's going to be a little bit limiting. Battlecopter, recon, tank, and infantry. Problem parking the tank there. It means, oh, gets trapped. That's also not good. Does wound the tank there, but this, and wounds the tank again. This tank will get a good retaliation to this tank there. You take push forward, in range the artillery, which got revealed the worst time, but does get hit by a battlecopter. Quite, and yeah, I suppose the medium tank's not going to be too big of an issue. Gets trapped over there. And Kindle can start flipping some of these properties. 20,000 versus 18. Tank, and infantry. This 2 health artillery, I think, should fall back rather than take time to shoot. So the 9 health battlecopter can strike the 4 health battlecopter, and this 2 fuel remaining battlecopter can merge onto it. And donate, well, won't donate any fuel, just donate 1 health. Now that side's really teched up. We got 1 medium tank and for our tech up, and that's about it. Most sides have been satisfied for other units. 4 Strikes battlecopters are not great. Gets the retaliation damage there. Since the 2 health battlecopter for a recon run. Hits that tank twice. Hits that infantry unit there. There's 11 capture progress remaining. Now it has 0 or 20 remaining. Artillery does strike the medium tank there. Possibly, but neo-tanks will be whittled down quite a bit by the global damage. Remember as well, her income is 20,000, which is actually not too high. It's hard to squeeze out a neo-tank if you're below 22,000. In fact, if you're below 24,000 on a 3-base map. Does lose a battlecopter there, hits lose artillery there. T-copter, artillery, infantry, and mech. 99.9 versus 110, so Kindle has a pretty good advantage at the moment. And we could see an Urban Blight to get boosted strike off to multiple targets here, so this may be a good turn for our Urban Blight. Yeah, I think could be a good turn. Trying to capture some more properties. Booster strike there on the E-tier. Hits the artillery. That's in the auxiliary. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter. No boost strike onto down here, but she still does not have utilized her Urban Blight. Could likely see a Typhoon next turn. All depends how much power charge, but it's very likely. In range, the wow, that artillery has so many notifications over. I can't even see its health. It has 2 health. Now it's at 4, and no longer has trouble fuel or ammo. There's a Battlecopter there. Hits the tank there. Hits the recon thrice. And here comes the Typhoon. He has no reason why hold off on it other than trying to avoid his own lack of vision negative effect. I flip 2 properties here. 21,000 versus 17 at the moment. Infantry, 8-tier, mech. Kindle could eye for High Society. Right now, High Society would provide her 22 plus 66% firepower, which is quite significant, but not a lot of stuff in range, at least in vision range. So she may want to hold off both Urban Blight and High Society so she gets some more vision. Does pop Urban Blight there, which will interrupt this capture, put this one down to 1% health. No, should have used the infantry unit for that. Does get boost strike there. Yeah, should have wiped it out with the infantry unit there, and then let the tank get a boost strike onto that tank. Recon, infantry, battlecopter, infantry. Though maybe it was out of vision range, I wasn't paying close enough attention. No, the recon had full vision of it. Maybe the tank was out of movement range? Thought it was. Didn't use all 6 movement range though. Either way, ends from 103, Drake starts from 84, so Kindle still has a nice little advantage. What if Battlecopter gets a nice little recon pass? Almost enough for another Urban Blight as well. And of course, with the medium tank here, and not much properties, could get some good boost strike there, plus another boost strike here. So there's good opportunity for Urban Blight. Yeah, squeeze on Urban Blight and then attack, I would say. Just needs to get a little bit of damage going. Probably could have used that to get a boost strike on this tank there instead. Hits the Battlecopter there, hits that infantry unit there. Focus on that tank there. Could have got booster strike. There's a boost strike there. Urban Blight's now available. Won't interrupt the captures that, so it looks like she's going to lose 2 properties this next turn. May gain 1 the following though. 4 capture progress remaining. Anti will get the Battlecopter. Could hit this Battlecopter, which would be a better target for it. But it does not have vision of it. And will probably be struck by artillery. Anti-air infantry recon. 19 versus 19. Oh, I didn't see that one being captured as well, so it's back up to 21 versus 17. And 2 more captures there. This one's at 4. It's the anti-air, giving more free reign for the Battlecopter, though we do have this anti-air in the region. And this one that's at 31 fuel. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, and infantry. In range of artillery there. Tank, tank, tank. Gets that tank there. Recon straight forward. Battlecopter gets knocked out. Infantry, 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 and Battlecopter. Save 7,000 funds. I'm pretty sure stealths are allowed on this map. No black bombs, stealth yes, so maybe she's saving up for something big. Or multiple big things. After all, with 22,000 income, she can pull out a Neo Tank every turn with 2,000 fun drain twice for the infantry, barring repairs, of course, like this tank there. Try and flip this property down here. Battlecopter maybe in range to hit the artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it is. Possible Urban Blight to interrupt it to buy her a little bit of time. Mech, infantry, and T-copter. Saves a little bit of funds there. Try and flip a property. It's the anti-air, and that one infantry unit takes out the anti-air there. It also means this battlecopter can advance far more safely. This anti-air goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, very far away from the battlecopter. Pops Urban Blight there, which does interrupt the capture there. Recon gets a boost strike onto the mech, nuking it. And looks like she will be able to save this property at the current rate. And does go for Neo Tank and double infantry. With 3,000 funds, she could perhaps get another Neo Tank next turn. Anti-air and APC mech. Pops Tsunami. APC doesn't seem that useful to me. Oh, that's why. He does go ahead and resign. As Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.